All right, family. So today we diving into a hot topic. That's Chicago sanctuary policies and ICE programs or operations, I like to say. And there's a lot to unpack. So we just gonna break it down together. With no further ado, let's get straight into it.
Garrett Tenney is live for us in Chicago. Garrett.
Yeah, Harris, those proposed changes would have allowed Chicago police to work with ICE only in cases involving a violent criminal, which is the kind of people state and local officials claim they don't want to be here. Instead, progressives on the city council have spent the past week preparing to fight this expected ICE operation by canvassing Latino neighborhoods to pass out these flyers, telling folks to not open their doors and to remain silent if ICE agents show up looking for any convicted criminals.
Talking to people, the fear is palpable. The fear is vocalized by our residents. People in the streets are saying that they're scared that ICE agents will show up at their doorsteps, at their workplaces, at their places of worship or places of going to school. They're scared of that. That is a problem.
All right, wait. We gotta have a conversation. So the city council shut down a proposal that would let police work with ICE on violent crimes, but instead they're handing out flyers in Latino neighborhoods telling people to stay silent and not open the door. Look, I get it. They're trying to protect people they feel like are being unfairly targeted, I should say. They feel like, because it's more moshis, Phillies type of thing. But my question is, where does public safety fit into this equation for the American people? If we let in violent criminals slip through the cracks, doesn't that put these communities at risk? You see what I'm saying, family? Comment down below. Let's continue.
Governor J.B. Pritzker could push for changes in the state sanctuary policies to allow Illinois police to cooperate in some limited way, but he hasn't given any indication that that is something he is even considering, despite repeatedly saying criminal illegal migrants should be arrested and removed.
If there are violent criminals who have been convicted of violent crimes, who are undocumented, they are supposed to be deported. That is the law of the United States and has been for quite a long time. I don't want them in my state. I don't want them in the country. If you're going to commit crimes and you're undocumented, you don't deserve to stay in this country.
The sad irony here is that by not helping to remove those folks, Democrats here say that the folks they are trying to protect, those law-abiding individuals who are here illegally, by not cooperating with ICE, more of those very individuals are inevitably going to get picked.
Ignorance, right? And here's the thing. The fear is real, right? People are scared. ICE might come up and show up at their homes, workplaces, and even schools, right? Like they mentioned. That kind of stress takes a toll, I guess, right? With someone who has some sense of entitlement when they're here illegal in the country. But let's zoom out for a second. Imagine if we focus on resources, on reforming the system itself, a lot of people would say, or if they have common sense would say, and creating a pathway for those who are just trying to live peacefully while still prioritizing the safety of the American people. So the whole point of this is the steps in reformity, and you have to have a standard to be able to operate in a structured way of living to have some type of order, right? So law and order, basically. If not, then there'll be chaos. But the first way to start some type of law and order is by reformity. And this is just bigger than politics. It's about finding a sustainable balance that protects everyone. In this case, everyone as the American people. But it's mind-blowing to see how they like to justify keeping illegals here to the point where they won't even help. So it brings a lot of questions to local legislators and public officials who are elected. Do they really even care about their citizens, in this case, Chicagoans, right? Let's continue.
Picked up by ICE while agents are trying to track down those who are the most dangerous. One example, Harris, during an ICE operation in Chicago back in 2018, agents arrested 156 migrants. Of those, only 74 had criminal convictions. The other half were folks who just got caught up and were collateral arrest. Tom Home and others are warning we are almost certainly going to see a lot more of that because of these sanctuary policies. Harris?
And just so I'm clear, I mean, if they came here illegally, they already committed a crime. They broke our laws of sovereignty. So there's 156. Yes, 74 had committed crimes either in their former countries or in this one. But the balance of that was, from what you're saying, and that's what I want to get straight, they were here illegally anyway.
Here illegally, not violent criminals, though. And that's what the administration is focusing on in this initial set of operations.
All right. That's helpful. Garrett, thank you. Gianno Caldwell, Fox News political analyst. Gianno, look, I made a fine point of this because it matters. The last administration was trying to legalize coming across our border in many illegal ways. Whether you crawled in, you went around the security checkpoints, they just wanted, okay, well, if you got here, you're safe. That's not how it works. That's not sovereignty. That's an open door. So picking up these people along with the violent criminals, what would you rather not do? Just not pick up anybody? That's what they wanted.
Exactly right.
Today is different.
Exactly
Trump's in
right.
office.
100%. And Governor J.B. Pritzker is speaking out of both sides of his mouth, saying he doesn't want violent criminals there. But yet, people, as you mentioned, they broke the law and they came over here. It's the exact same thing. You committed a crime by entering the United States of America, and it has cost us in blood and treasure. Blood by the 100,000 plus people who've overdosed on a drug. And we've seen that in recent years since Biden has taken office, and treasure with the billions of dollars of resources that are being usurped from the people of Illinois and the people of the city of Chicago, New York, and all across the country. It must come to an end. And thank God this day has come with Donald Trump in office to get the country back on its feet.
Well, look, you knew that there'd be pushback. There has been from day one with that.
And he talks about the blood and treasure argument, right? I feel like this is heavy because the opioid crisis alone has devastated so many lives. And yes, border security plays a role in tackling that. But let's ask the hard questions. Are we addressing the root causes, like demand and treatment, or just blaming the border for everything, right? And I think we all can agree it's not one or the other. We need a more holistic approach, and we need more reformed, or we need more of an orderly approach, which is why if you're vetted out the right way and you go through the process and not come in illegally committing a crime, I think it speaks for itself. It's not rocket science. It won't add to the opioid crisis that's already on top of it due to individuals coming over illegally trying to benefit in any way, shape, or form to have some type of financial compensation, even if that comes to adding to the opioid crisis over here, smuggling all type of drugs and stuff from another country that they're originally from to come over here illegally to basically benefit in this way by harming the American people, not only from a safety standpoint, but also from a health crisis standpoint, in this case, the opioid crisis. But I digress. Let's continue.
Immediate lawsuit slew against DOJ, the Department of Government Efficiency. Now there's more legal action. Democratic attorneys general are suing across the country. They're suing President Trump over his birthright citizenship executive order. Here's a map showing the lawsuit spread across 22 states. Constitutional law professor Jonathan Turley says he believes this issue could make it all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. Watch.
The real value of the executive order is not that it has binding legal effect on anything other than federal agencies, but that it could trigger a long-awaited court fight to bring clarity to this issue. It could ultimately go in front of the Supreme Court.
Your reaction?
Well, I think he has a point there, and I would never challenge the professor. I think he's excellent in his legal commentary. So, yeah, there would be a court fight in the Supreme Court. But the facts of the matter are we should be focusing on Americans first, people who've built the life.
What do you mean he would never challenge a professor? I'm going to challenge anybody that come my way. You could be so smart but so stupid at the same time. I don't care about no damn professor, okay? I'm just let you be honest. I'm going to be honest about it. The point is, if you don't got common sense at the end of the day, I don't know what you have. You could be smart, but then you can lack common sense at the same time. But the birthright citizen debate, right? This could end up in the Supreme Court, and it's a big one, right? A lot of people feel like they come over here illegally, they have a kid, then since the child is born into United States, and it's a finesse, right? Have kids over there in the United States so they can stay here because their kids are born here. But at the end of the day, it's a loophole being exploited. Others see it as a fundamental right, but here's where I stand. Rather than reacting to the symptoms of a broken system, like I said, and Donald Trump is already doing it in regards of addressing the system itself. Congress has been dragging its feet on immigration reform for decades, and it's time for real leadership to step up. And in this case, the adults that are in office right now, such as J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, is doing so. And I think we all can agree, um, this isn't just a legal issue. It's about who we are as a nation. Um, are we a country that values compassion and fairness while still holding people accountable? Or are we content with letting policy or letting politics divide us further? Immigration affects everyone, right? Directly or indirectly. But what kind of solutions do you guys see? Drop them in the comments. I want to hear from y'all.
Fear, not people who decided they were pregnant and they came across just so they can have a child within the United States and get those particular protections.
Mm-hmm.
That's usurping, again, resources from Americans, and it's an issue we've been dealing with for decades. That's why it is imperative that Congress comes up with an immigration plan that's going to take care of all of these issues, because we've been talking about it for decades. Things need to come to a change because we have to protect Americans first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, you and I were at events in Washington for the inauguration, one in particular where Tim Scott and Byron Donalds from Florida, Congressman and Senator Tim Scott. There is this focus on being able to do those big bipartisan things. Just real quickly, what was your take on lawmakers you talked with?
Well, people are excited. There's a lot of enthusiasm and energy around the new administration. And I got to be honest with you, Harris, that isn't just Republicans and conservatives and people who voted for Trump. I've heard from people who voted for Kamala Harris, who voted for Joe Biden in the previous election, people who would never give Donald Trump the time of day. They're enthusiastic. They're excited. People feel it everywhere because they know we've been in a terrible state of affairs for the last 4 years. Our economic activity, inflation, the border, crime. These are issues that impact every American. And they're now thinking, wait, we got a guy who's now in office who means business. And that's why people are excited and they're looking forward to 4 years of Donald Trump. And folks who didn't vote for him, many are looking to give him a chance.
John Caldwell, thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, everyone.
All right, folks. So I'm going to close here. Finally, people are excited about Trump's return to office. Whether you're for him or not, it highlights something important. People are desperate for change, for someone who seems as though they're actually taking action, or I'm not even going to say seems, they actually are taking action on regards of the things they said they were going to do, instead of empty promises just to get elected, as most politicians do when it comes to the political landscape. But here's the challenge. How do we turn that energy into meaningful, lasting solutions? Let's keep the conversation going, because this isn't about one party or one president. It's about us, a community, and finding a way forward together. So what do you guys think, right? Let me know in the comments below if you got some value from this video, let alone enjoyed the conversation. Get this video a big thumbs up. It helps the channel. Also, crush that YouTube algorithm. So peace.